So I think the Bears are going to win 24-17.
Welcome everybody to week 16 of Kleschka Picks, and I have some bad news. There's no Thursday game this week. What? What do you mean there's no Thursday game this week? It's exactly what I said. There is no Thursday game this week. But that's insane. There's always Thursday night football. No, there isn't. But there will be 2 Saturday games again. All right, let's get started with the Saturday game. Washington and Tennessee, Titans and Redskins. Washington won on a last-second field goal last week to beat the Jaguars. Literally coming down to 0 on the clock. Game-winning field goal. Titans, they beat the Giants. They shut them out. It was a pretty impressive win for the Titans, not gonna lie. They're coming off that huge game by Derrick Henry, and he had another huge game. So, I think that's going to continue. I honestly was so shocked the Redskins won with all the injuries they have. I don't think that'll happen again. I think the Titans are a much better team, and they are on such a hot streak, and I think they'll beat the Redskins 23-17. Chargers and Ravens. Chargers, they upset the Chiefs last week. They showed huge confidence by going for the win instead of wanting to take it for overtime, and they left Mike Williams, the Chiefs left Mike Williams, wide open, and that got them the win. It was absolutely insane. I was watching the whole thing when it was coming towards the end, and I was shocked. I was excited. It was a good game, and now they're tied. They have the same record. If the Chiefs lose once and the Chargers win out, then the Chargers will win the division, and the Chiefs, who have looked strong all year, will be a wild card team. Anyways, Chargers, they've been right there with them. Baltimore, ever since they put Lamar Jackson in, it has been a turn of the tables for them. He is 4-1 as a starter, and it looks like he's going to be taking Joe Flacco's job. Anyways, I think the Chargers are a very impressive team, and I think they are the better team. They should be getting Melvin Gordon back soon, and Phillip Rivers is having an MVP caliber season. I think he'll lead the Chargers to a victory over the Ravens, 24-20. Texans and Eagles. We might as well call last week the week of upsets. There were so many. The Eagles upset the Rams, for example. Everybody thought the Rams were going to have this, seal this victory, but that wasn't the case. The Eagles came to LA and they showed them up. Then Houston, they beat the Jets last week. A battle for a little bit, but then the Texans pulled ahead with the great players they have. Houston, they're just riding a better hot streak. I think they're going to get the victory over the Eagles, even though the Eagles are impressing lately. And Nick Foles, he is the GOAT. He beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and he just beat the Rams, who are a very good team. But I think the Texans are much better. I think they got better players, and I think they will get the victory, 29-23. Packers and Jets. I got the Packers and Bears score exactly right last week. It was awesome, and that's my second on the season. So now I lead everyone who's been on Kleschka Picks. Finally, the guy who does it is at the top, me. DPF was in the lead for a long time. He got one right, exactly right, his first time when he guest starred. I tied it this season, and now I took the lead. Anyways, Packers, they lost to the Bears. The Packers, they are not making the playoffs. The Jets, they're not making the playoffs either, but the Packers, if they lose to the Jets, that would be straight up embarrassing. I don't see that happening with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I think the Packers will win 31-21. Patriots and Bills. Patriots lost to the Steelers. The Steelers showed up and they beat the Patriots. It was very exciting. Joe Hayden came up with a clutch interception. Then the Bills, they beat the Lions. Not a very impressive team to beat, but I don't think Tom Brady's going to be playing like this for long. I think he's going to come back and have a resurgence game this week against the Bills, but barely win because the Bills, you know, Josh Allen's improving. I just think Tom Brady's going to get past that just barely, 24-23. Vikings and Lions. The Vikings beat the Dolphins last week. Lions lost to the Bills. The Vikings, ever since they got rid of their offensive coordinator, it's just been a bonus for them, even though it hasn't been that long. But the rush game was dominant last week between Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray. I think the offense is going to look great for the Vikings again this week, and I think they will get the victory, 30-17. Cowboys and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers lost last week, and the Cowboys got shut out. I did not see that coming. The Cowboys were on such a hot streak, and a shutout. That was not good for them. Anyways, I think the Cowboys are going to get back on track against a team that they can probably do that against. The Buccaneers defense through the air is not solid, so I think Dak Prescott will take advantage of that with Amari Cooper, just like he has been ever since Amari Cooper showed up, which will allow Ezekiel Elliott to dominate the ground game. So I think the Cowboys are going to get everything back together this week over the Buccaneers, 27-20. Bengals and Browns. Bengals got the win over the Raiders last week, and Browns beat the Broncos. The Browns are looking good in the future. Not this season, but I think the future's bright for them going ahead. I think they're going to win again. The Bengals are so injury prone, even though they got the win last week and Joe Mixon is stepping up when he needs to in all these absences. But I think that this week it's going to be different. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think the Browns are going to show that they are a tough competitive team, and they will get the victory over the Bengals 24-16. Falcons and Panthers. Panthers had a shot to beat the Saints, but they could not do it. The Saints defense stepped up in the end to save that victory for them. Then we have the Falcons, who got the victory over the Cardinals. That's not a very impressive team to beat, but the Falcons, they look like they're starting to turn things around again. They're not going to playoffs, but their offense was rolling for a little bit, and then it just kind of went really bad for them for a couple weeks. But then it looked like after this Cardinals game that things are starting to click again. Julio Jones is getting in the action, especially when he was up against Patrick Peterson. He showed up. So I think the Falcons offense is going to show up going forward for the rest of the season. I think that the Falcons will beat the Panthers 20-13. Jaguars and Dolphins. Dolphins lost to the Vikings. That was their first game after the Miami Miracle, and they didn't really show up with a W after the Miami Miracle, clearly. Then the Jaguars, they lost on a game-winning field goal by the Redskins. The Jaguars, their offense is just not that good right now. Blake Bortles has been benched, and it wasn't like the backup was an improvement. I mean, it is, but it's not getting them anywhere. It's not getting them to the playoffs, that's for sure. Miami, I think they have the better team. I think they're more athletic. I think they have players like Kenyon Drake. Ryan Tannehill's been solid. It's just Miami looks like the better team right now, and I don't see Jacksonville beating them. I think Miami wins 23-13. Giants and Colts. The Giants got shut out by the Titans last week, and the Colts shut out the Cowboys for a victory. So maybe this means the Colts are going to give the Giants negative points. No, that's not what that means, because that's not possible. But I think the Colts are going to dominate. Andrew Luck and the offensive line have been very good, which makes the rest of the offense very good. Their defense is stepping up and looking impressive. And I think the Giants will put up a fight with Saquon Barkley, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Colts will get the victory, 33-27. Bears and 49ers. The Bears won last week. Like I said, I got that score exactly right, baby. Then the 49ers, they upset my Seahawks. It came down to a very close score, but man, I really wish we could have got that victory, because it makes it a little difficult for our wild card spot. Even though I'm hopeful we're still going to get it, I'm very confident, but that hurt. That one really did hurt. And the Bears, their defense is solid, and with how solid that defense is, it allows the offense to be good too, and they don't have to freak out. They don't have to worry. The offense just gets the job done, and that's all they have to do if the defense shines. So against a 49ers offense, which isn't lighting the world on fire, I think the Bears defense is going to have a great day, and I think they will get the victory 24-10. This is going to be a good game. The Saints and the Steelers. Steelers just beat the Patriots. Saints just snuck away with a victory from the Panthers. That was an embarrassing game for the Saints. I feel like they could have been a lot better, but they are so lucky they got out of Carolina with a victory. Anyways, I think Pittsburgh is going to take advantage of how bad the Saints have been playing. It's not like they've been playing terrible, but compare them to early on in the season, it's a huge difference. So I think the Steelers are going to take advantage of this with this win over the Patriots. They have so much confidence right now. And how could you not? Antonio Brown lighting the world on fire. And without James Conner, the backup stepped up in a huge way. He did not do terrible. He actually did pretty good. So I think the Steelers are actually going to beat the Saints. This could be the week where the Saints offense comes back, but I don't think so, because that Steelers defense is also playing pretty good. So I think the Steelers take this victory over the Saints 24-20. Seahawks and Chiefs. Thank goodness we are in Seattle, because if this was in Kansas City, I think this would be a different game. But I think this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be an intense game to watch. Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes are playmakers. Plays you think that are dead, they turn them into plays that, oh my God, they just they blow your mind. So I think this is going to be a crazy game. Keep your eyes on this game, everybody. I think that Seattle and Kansas City are going to go back and forth. Touchdowns from Russell Wilson, from Patrick Mahomes, boom, 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 boom. I don't think defenses are going to be running around all day, because these quarterbacks are going to dominate the game. However, I think the Chiefs are going to come out on top just barely, and it hurts me to say that, but I think it's going to happen. So I think the Chiefs are going to win 30-27. Broncos and Raiders. The Broncos lost to the Browns last week, and the Raiders lost to the Bengals. The Broncos, it has just been so bad for them lately. Emmanuel Sanders out for season. They traded away Demaryius Thomas. Phillip Lindsay's been a bright spot, and Case Keenum's still fine, but when everybody else around them starts to fall, it hurts the rest of the team. And the defense is not the championship defense we saw a few years ago. Von Miller is the new sacks leader, but that doesn't change the whole team's defensive effort. Then the Raiders, it's just been a season to forget for them. However, I think with how hurt the Broncos are, and all these things that are happening to them. I think this is a great time for the Raiders to take advantage of that. So I think the Raiders are actually going to win 23-17.
I totally forgot to record my prediction for the Rams and Cardinals game, but I'm going to say it's going to be 34-10.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching Week 16 of Kleschka Picks. I will see you next week for Week 17 of Kleschka Picks, the last regular season games of the NFL next week. So be ready for that. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.